The giant auction hall stood on the edge of the asteroid city of Varnock. The lights were harsh. The air smelled like smoke, oil, and old metal. Strange aliens from many worlds sat in rows of curved black seats, some wearing gold, some covered in armor, all watching the main stage. But even with all the noise and blinking lights, a heavy silence fell when Lot 73 was rolled out. She was different. She didn't walk like the others. She was pushed forward on a wheeled platform. Her left arm was made of shiny dark metal, with glowing blue lines running down to her fingers. Her left leg was also machine, clicking softly with every small movement. Her right side shoulder, too, ankle with skin, soft and pale violet, clearly alien, but still beautiful in a strange way. Her long silver hair hung over one eye. But her face was calm, too calm, like someone who had stopped hoping. Some in the crowd hissed, half robot, too risky, too broken. She's not fully alive. No one raised a hand. The auctioneer, a thick creature with 6 eyes and a golden tongue, cleared his throat. Lot 73. Combatrated hybrid. Cybernetic muscle enhancements. Core AI support. Last used in special missions. Starting bid minus 500 credits. No hands moved, just silence. She stood still, looking down. Maybe she had stopped caring. Maybe she had accepted that no one wanted her, that no one would ever want her. The auctioneer shouted louder. Combat trained. Loyal to owner's command? Chip. Speech capable. Fine appearance. Still no hands. Starting bid reduced. 300 credits. No one wanted a half-metal girl. Not even for free. Some buyers laughed. One rich trader from the back yelled, I wouldn't take her if she came with a warship. More laughter. Just then, a sound cut through the crowd. Clink dot. Single coin hit the floor. Not a credit chip. Not digital. A small, old-fashioned earth coin. Every head turned at the back of the room. Standing alone under a dull yellow light was a man. A human. He wore a long coat covered in dust. A scar ran from his left temple to the edge of his beard. His face was tired but calm. He raised his hand slowly. I'll take her. The auctioneer blinked all 6 eyes. Excuse me, human? I'll take her, the man repeated. For 300 credits. The hall went dead silent. Some buyers whispered. What's a human doing here? Is he mad? Doesn't he know what she is? The auctioneer laughed nervously. Sir, Lot 73 is unstable. Her last owners filed complaints. May be unpredictable. The man stepped forward slowly. I know what I'm buying. The girl on the stage looked up for the first time. Her one normal eye widened, just slightly. The blue light in her robotic eye dimmed, as if confused. She didn't speak. She just stared. The human dropped a pouch of credit chips on the table. I'll take her now. Very well, the auctioneer cried, confused but pleased. Sold. To the human outsider, take her, and good luck. The guards unlocked her platform. The girl didn't move, until the man walked up and spoke gently. Can you walk? She looked at him. I have not tried in days. Let's try now, he said. He offered his hand. Her metal fingers trembled, and she took it. Her first step off the platform was slow. Her leg clicked. Her second step was smoother. She stood on her own by the third. The room watched in silence as she walked beside the human. Step by careful step, past the guards, past the rows of buyers. Out of the hall, no chains, no leash, just a human walking with a half-machine girl. Like, she wasn't broken. Outside, under the dull red sky of Varnak, she finally spoke again. Why did you buy me? The human looked straight ahead. Because no one else did. That is not a reason. He stopped and looked at her. You were still standing, he said. Even when everyone turned away, she blinked. Her robotic eye glowed softly. I'm Joran, he added. Don't. Need a slave, just someone who walks with me. I don't have a name, she said quietly. He smiled a little. Then I guess we'll find one. Together, without looking back, they walked toward the spaceport. The ship was small, old, and quiet. It hummed softly as it flew through the stars, away from the crowded auction world of Varnak. Inside, the lights were dim, the air clean but dry. The man Joran sat at the table sipping something warm. Across from him, the half-metal girl sat still, staring at nothing, her right hand flesh and soft rested quietly on the table. Her left hand cold metal, shaped like a human's, but clearly machine, remained in her lap, unmoving. She didn't touch anything with it. Not yet. You should eat, Joran said gently. She looked at the food tray in front of her. He had given her fresh fruit, some bread, and water. She didn't move. I don't need food, she replied. Your organic half still does, Joran said. She blinked once. Slowly, she picked up a piece of bread with her right hand. Mechanical. Fingers never moved. As she ate, Joran watched her with quiet curiosity. You still haven't told me your name, he said. I don't have one, she answered. What did they call you? Lot 73. That's not a name. It's what I was given. Joran leaned back in his seat. You want a new one? She looked up at him. Her eyes, one natural and violet, the other glowing blue, met his. Does it matter? It will, he said, when you decide what you are. For the first time, her expression changed. Just slightly. Flicker. Confusion. Thought. Then she looked down again. Later, in the quiet sleeping chamber, she sat alone. The ship's hum was steady, calming. Joran had given her privacy. No orders. No collar. No tracking device. It felt strange. She reached to the side of her neck and pressed a small panel on her metal shoulder. A soft click and a hidden screen appeared from beneath her collarbone. Lines of strange language scrolled across its symbols from an old program she didn't recognize. Suddenly, an alert blinked. Core files locked. Access denied. Encrypted directive, do not awaken. Her eyes narrowed. She hadn't known this existed. A sharp pulse ran through her shoulder as if her body warned her to stop. She closed the panel. Joran sat outside the room, looking at a glowing map. The ship's course was quiet, no patrols, no danger zones. Still, he couldn't relax. He heard the door open behind him. She stepped out. I want to ask something. She said, Go ahead. Why didn't you ask what I was made for? I figured you'd tell me when you were ready. She walked slowly over, metal foot clicking once on the floor. You don't care that I'm part machine? Joran looked at her calmly. I care that you're part you. She didn't understand his answer, but she didn't hate it either. She sat beside him, her hands folded. They made me for something. I don't remember what. Do you want to? She hesitated. Sometimes I think I wasn't meant to be just a tool. You weren't. I found something strange inside. Me tonight, she whispered. A locked file. What is that? Don't awaken. What does that mean? Joran turned toward her. Maybe it's something someone didn't want you to remember. Should I open it? He didn't answer right away. Only if you want to know the truth, he said. But whatever's inside. It won't change what I see when I look. At you? What do you see? She asked. A girl who deserves to know she's not just metal. Her robotic fingers twitched. For the first time, she slowly lifted her metal hand. The fingers moved with precision, but she looked afraid of her own body. Carefully, she placed it over her chest. My heart beats. But only halfway, she whispered. Joren looked at her. That's still more than most. That night, while Joran rested, the girl stared at her reflection in the ship's glass wall. Her face was half-shadowed. Half living, half cold steel. Her lips were soft. Her eye glowed. She placed one hand on the glass. She didn't know who she was. Not yet, but something deep inside her was waking up. Not a machine, not a weapon. Someone. And someone had finally seen her. She was dreaming, but it didn't feel like a dream. Her body stood still, but her mind was running fast. Inside her head, cold voices echoed. Activate Weapon Protocol 9Exa. Deploy to the outer rim. Use full force. No emotion. No hesitation. She saw herself in armor, full metal from head to toe. Her arms became weapons. Her eyes glowed like twin searchlights. She tore through walls, struck down enemies, and walked over smoke and blood. She didn't cry. She didn't even blink. And then the dream shifted. She was standing in a dark room, alone. Forgotten, her armor was cracked. Sparks came from her shoulder. The walls were covered in frost. Someone said in a broken voice, "Shut her down. We don't need her anymore." She woke with a jolt, her metal hand gripping the edge of the bed. Her chest felt tight. The soft hum of Joran's ship reminded her she was somewhere safe now. But that old voice still echoed in her mind. She got up slowly and walked to the mirror. Her reflection stared back. One half soft skin, silver hair, calm violet eye. The other half, smooth black metal, glowing lines. Quiet power and something else, a small round scar. Right below her collarbone, she pressed it. Click. A hologram appeared from her chest. A faint, flickering file. The words glowed. Project WXA, Unit 09, status, discontinued. Reason, emotion detected. Her breath caught. Emotion. She touched the file again. Images poured out. Flashes of old battles. Cities burning, enemies falling. Then one scene slowed. She stood in front of a small child. The child was scared, crying. And instead of following orders, she had lowered her weapon. She had disobeyed because she felt something. Behind her, Joran entered quietly. "You okay?" She turned, the hologram still glowing on her chest. "I wasn't just built for war. I was war." Joran looked at the file. "They made you fight." "I was one of 9, she said. Project WXA, 9 units. I don't know what happened to the others." He stepped closer. "What happened to you?" "They erased me," she whispered, "because I hesitated. Because I didn't kill a child." Joran nodded slowly. "So they shut you down. They called it a failure. I call it a beginning." She blinked. "You felt something." "That's not weakness," he added. "That's human." Later. She sat alone in the cockpit, staring at the stars. Her metal hand rested on the window, the cold glass matching the chill in her arm. She spoke softly to herself. "If I was made for war, then what am I now?" Her systems beeped. Another file unlocked. Location. Volker, graveyard message. Do not return. WXA project was buried here. She stared at the words. A place where they threw her away. She whispered, "Maybe I need to go back." The next morning, she told Joran, "We need to go to the Volkar graveyard." Joran looked concerned. "Isn't that where the WXA project ended?" She nodded. "That's where they dumped me. There might be more files, more truth." He thought for a moment, then smiled. "Then let's find it." As the ship changed course, she watched the stars shift direction. Somewhere out there was the grave of her past, and maybe the key to her future. They reached the Volker system 2 days later. Dead silence. Broken satellites floated like bones in space. Burned-out ships drifted in the dark. A shattered moon cast sharp shadows across. The wreckage. They flew slowly, searching. Finally, she pointed there. She said, "Something." They landed on a cold metal platform, surrounded by ruined hangars. She stepped out first. Her metal foot touched the old ground she had once bled on. Inside the ruins, found old machines, rusted data cores, and a broken pod. Just like the one she once woke up in. But one thing stood out. A mirror, not broken, not rusted. Knew she stepped close. Her reflection shimmered, then spoke. "Unit 09, you have reactivated." "Unauthorized." She stepped back. "Who's speaking?" The mirror glowed. "This is Project Core. Warning. System 09 is active. Human contact detected. Emergency command issued. All units must return." Joran raised his gun. "What does that mean?" She stared at the mirror. "It means they know I'm awake." The mirror flickered once, then shut off. The room fell silent, but the silence felt wrong. Heavy, like the air itself was listening. Joran stepped beside her, keeping one hand on his sidearm. "That thing said all units must return. You think? They'll come for you, I don't think," she said. "I know." She looked around. The walls were covered in dust. Burned marks ran across the floor. But now small lights were glowing under the ground, dread dots blinking in a slow rhythm. Her feet froze. They activated the trackers, she whispered. Joran's eyes narrowed. Then we need to leave. Fast. But as they turned toward the ship, the floor under them shook just a little. Then again, boom, boom, from above. Something dropped through the ceiling. Metal legs, long, thin. Sharp, it landed like a spider made. Of steel and fire, its face had no eyes. Only a long red line that glowed. It turned its head slowly. WXA Unit 09, you are ordered to comply. Return for reset. Vexa didn't move. Her body tensed. I'm not yours anymore, she said. Then, you are marked defective. The robot raised a glowing cannon from its side. Joran shouted, move! He fired twice. Bullets hit metal but bounced off. Vexa grabbed Joran's coat and yanked him behind cover. The robot fired. A blue beam melted the wall where they had just stood. This one is a recall unit, she gasped. It's not here to capture me, it's here to erase me. Joran looked at her. Then we fight. She stood up, her metal arm transforming. It clicked and reshaped itself into a small plasma blade. Joran stared. You never told me your arm does that. I didn't know it still worked. She dashed forward. Her blade sparked as it struck the robot's arm. The robot countered, grabbing her by the throat and slamming her into the floor. Sparks flew, but she didn't stop moving. With her other hand, she struck the bot's side, hitting a weak joint. The robot stumbled. But not much. It was stronger. She was faster. They moved like shadows, her glowing blade against its cold steel claws. But it wasn't enough. Joran saw the robot charge again, ready to land a final blow. He didn't think. Ran forward and tackled it from the side. Buying her 1 second. 1 second was enough. She drove her blade into the back of its head. The robot froze, then fell. Dead smoke filled the air. Joran coughed, his arm bleeding from a scrape. That was just one. She nodded. More are coming. She looked around, breathing hard. They know I'm awake. Now they know I'm with a human. They'll hunt you harder now. They'll hunt you too. He stood beside her. Let them try. Back on the ship, she stared at her reflection in the side window. Her face was bruised. Her metal arm steamed lightly, but her eyes were clearer now. I fought back, she whispered. And I'm still here. But something new was growing in her chest. Fear. Da 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 da. For the first time in her life, she had chosen to fight not because of a command, not because of programming, but because she wanted to protect someone. She turned to Joran. They'll never stop. The WXA program must still be active somewhere. Maybe even more units like me. Alive? Joran asked. Or trapped, she said. Like I was. A message blinked on her inner screen. Unit 06 signal weak pulse detected location. Unknown. She stared at it. Another one of her kind. Another part of her story. She looked at Joran. We're not done. He nodded. Then let's go find them. But as they lifted off from the Volcar graveyard, far across space, in a dark command center deep inside a forgotten base, an old man watched her signal. He wore a black coat. His eyes were glassy. He whispered into the comms. She's active. I told you she couldn't be erased. Prepare the rest. The failed weapon is awake. 100 red eyes lit up behind him. They weren't done with her. The ship drifted through open space, far from planets, far from cities, far from anyone watching. And inside that silence, Vexa was changing. Not her body. Her body was the same half metal, half flesh. Her steps still made soft clicks. Her voice was still too steady. Her skin too smooth on one side and too cold on the other. But something deeper had started to move. Something no scanner could measure. She stood alone in the quiet dining room, holding a small cup in her organic hand. The steam warmed her fingers. She didn't need to drink it, but she wanted to, because Joran had made it for her. She took a small sip. It tasted strange, bitter, but warm. She didn't smile, but she didn't frown either. Interesting. She whispered to herself. Not because of the drink, because she felt something so small. And so real later, she sat in the engine bay and watched Joran work. His sleeves were rolled up, his hands were dirty. Small cut on his cheek bled slightly. Without speaking, she moved beside him. He looked up. Hey, you're hurt. Just a scratch. She tilted her head. This biological tissue should be cleaned. To avoid infection, I'll take care of it soon. She didn't ask permission. She opened a cabinet, pulled out a small med patch, kneeled in front of him. He sat still as she gently placed it. On his cheek, her touch was careful, soft, not like a machine, like someone who cares. You didn't have to, he said. She looked into his eyes. I know. That night, she stood in front of the mirror. Her reflection stared back. Half of her was still steel, still glowing, still sharp. But now when she smiled, even a little it reached both sides, and that meant something. She touched the small scar. On her collarbone again, that old warning used to flash every time she did. Do not awaken, now it said. Status, free. She opened the files from her own memory files once locked. She began deleting parts she no longer needed. Tactical kill. Orders. Emergency obedience triggers. Auto shutdowns. Self-erase. Protocols gone. She replaced them with something else. She typed her own entry. I protected someone because I wanted to, and I will again. But far away, danger was moving. A small stealth. Cruiser flew through dead space, no signals, no sound, no lights. Inside, 4 hunters sat in silence. Not fully alive, not fully machine, just like her. But unlike her, they had no soul left. The leader, Unit 01, checked the target tracker. Signal found. Ship ID matches human designation. Weapon Unit 09 confirmed aboard. Cold voice answered through the comms. Erase both. Leave no data behind. The hunters said nothing. Their eyes glowed red. Back aboard Joran's ship, Exa stood on the observation deck, stars stretched out forever. Joran stepped beside her. What are you thinking about? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, I feel quiet inside, not empty, just quiet. He nodded. That's peace. I don't think I've ever had that. You do now? She turned to him. How do you know? Because when I look at you, he said, I don't see a weapon, I see a person. She lowered her eyes. Even if half of me isn't alive? Gently touched her metal hand. Your choices are alive. It's what makes you real. She looked down at their hands. Her metal fingers slowly closed around his. Not strong, not tight, just human. But suddenly her body tensed. A soft alarm blinked inside her vision. 3 foreign signals detected. High threat. Distance. 1.4 light minutes. She pulled away. Something's coming, she said sharply. Joren was already at the controls. Can we outrun them? She shook her head. No, they'll be here in minutes. What do we do? She turned toward him, her glowing eye burning bright. We don't run. The ship drifted through open space, far from planets, far from cities, far from anyone watching. And inside that silence, Vexa was changing. Not her body. Her body was the same half metal, half flesh. Her steps still made soft clicks. Her voice was still too steady. Her skin too smooth on one side and too cold on the other. But something deeper had started to move. Something no scanner could measure. She stood alone in the quiet dining room, holding a small cup in her organic hand. The steam warmed her fingers. She didn't need to drink it, but she wanted to, because Joran had made it for her. She took a small sip. It tasted strange, bitter, but warm. She didn't smile, but she didn't frown either. Interesting. She whispered to herself. Not because of the drink, because she felt something so small. And so real later, she sat in the engine bay and watched Joran work. His sleeves were rolled up, his hands were dirty. Small cut on his cheek bled slightly. Without speaking, she moved beside him. He looked up. Hey, you're hurt. Just a scratch. She tilted her head. Its biological tissue should be cleaned. To avoid infection, I'll take care of it soon. She didn't ask permission. She opened a cabinet, pulled out a small med patch, kneeled in front of him. He sat still as she gently placed it. On his cheek, her touch was careful, soft, not like a machine, like someone who cares. You didn't have to, he said. She looked into his eyes. I know. That night, she stood in front of the mirror. Her reflection stared back. Half of her was still steel, still glowing, still sharp. But now when she smiled, even a little it reached both sides, and that meant something. She touched the small scar. On her collarbone again, that old warning used to flash every time she did. Do not awaken, now it said. Status, free. She opened the files from her own memory files once locked. She began deleting parts she no longer needed. Tactical kill. Orders. Emergency obedience triggers. Auto shutdowns. Selfie race. Protocols gone. She replaced them with something else. She typed her own entry. I protected someone because I wanted to, and I will again. But far away, danger was moving. A small stealth. Cruiser flew through dead space, no signals, no sound, no lights. Inside, 4 hunters sat in silence. Not fully alive, not fully machine, just like her. But unlike her, they had no soul left. The leader, Unit 01, checked the target tracker. Signal found. Ship ID matches human designation. Weapon Unit 09 confirmed aboard. Cold voice answered through the comms. Erase both. Leave no data behind. The hunters said nothing. Their eyes glowed red. Back aboard Joran's ship, Exa stood on the observation deck, stars stretched out forever. Joran stepped beside her. What are you thinking about? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, I feel quiet inside, not empty, just quiet. He nodded. That's peace. I don't think I've ever had that. You do now? She turned to him. How do you know? Because when I look at you, he said, I don't see a weapon, I see a person. She lowered her eyes. Even if half of me isn't alive, gently touched her metal hand. Your choices are alive. It's what makes you real. She looked down at their hands. Her metal fingers slowly closed around his. Not strong, not tight, just human. But suddenly her body tensed. A soft alarm blinked inside her vision. 3 foreign signals detected. High threat. Distance. 1.4 light minutes. She pulled away. Something's coming, she said sharply. Joren was already at the controls. Can we outrun them? She shook her head. No, they'll be here in minutes. What do we do? She turned toward him, her glowing eye burning bright. We don't run. 3 red dots blinked on the ship's radar. Getting closer, fast. Fast.VAXA stood at the center of the bridge, her arms down, her eyes calm, but inside her systems burned. Old code wanted her to run, hide, obey. But something else had taken root now. Will, Joren, tightened the straps of his vest and checked the ship's weapons. Can we take them? Vexa looked at the data flashing in her vision. 3 advanced WXA hunters. One of them is Unit 01, the original prototype. Stronger than me? He swallowed. Can you beat him? She looked him in the eyes. Not alone? Joran smiled faintly. A good thing you're not alone. Outside, the black hunter's ship arrived, silent as death. Its surface was smooth, no. Markings, no windows. Only one door opened. 3 figures stepped out. All metal, all cold. All still, their eyes glowed blood red. The lead one, Unit 01, stepped forward and spoke with a voice like a machine whispering through steel. Unit 09, return, now. Vexa stepped off her ship and stood before them. Her metal arm hummed, organic. Heart pounded. No, she said. Unit 01 tilted his head. You were not made to choose? I was made to obey, she replied. But I learned to choose. He raised his hand. Then you are faulty. She stood tall. No, I'm free. And just like that, they attacked. The first hunter lunged. VXA moved faster than before. Her blade snapped from her metal arm, glowing white-hot. She struck, twisted, dodged, JOREN, fired from behind a crate, helping when he could, covering her when she fell, but they were strong, too strong. One of them struck her back. Sparks flew. Her metal spine groaned. She fell. Joran ran forward. Vexa looked up at him. Get out of here. Not leaving you. Unit 01 marched forward, calm and silent. Love is not in your design. But Vexa smiled through the pain. Is now, she stood again. Her system screamed, but her soul was louder. She ran toward Unit 01. He struck first, spear of energy from his arm. She took it straight to her side. Her organic skin burned. But she didn't stop. She reached him locked. His arm pulled him forward and whispered, I choose this. Then she activated her internal core. A blast of pure light exploded between them. The two other hunters were thrown back. Joran shielded his eyes. The light faded. Unit 01 was on the ground, motionless, his core fried. But so was she. Vexa lay still. Her metal arm sparked, her organic eye closed. Joran rushed to her side. Vexa, no, stay with me. She looked up at him, weak, fading. I'm still here. Stay. Please don't shut down. She smiled softly. Even if I die, I'm not empty anymore. Tears ran down his face. You can't leave now. You're finally you. Her fingers, cold and shaky, brushed against his face. I found something better than a purpose, she whispered. What? Someone worth living for. Then her hand fell. Silence. For a long time he just sat there, holding her broken body. No words, no sound, just the soft hum of a ship waiting. Then something blinked. Her chest glowed. Small light system, restarting. JOREN. Gasped. Come on, come back. The glow grew, flickered, and then she breathed. Her eyes opened, one blue, one violet. She whispered, I reprogrammed myself. He laughed through tears. You scared me. She smiled. You woke me. They buried the hunter remains deep in space, away from all signals. No one would follow again. Vexa stood beside Joran at the window of the ship, stars reflecting in her eyes. Her body was still half metal, but her soul entirely alive. She turned to Joran. I want a name. You can choose one now. Then smiled. Call me Vexa. Call me Vexa. He nodded. Vexa, it is. And together, human and not quite human, they flew off into the stars free, awake and unafraid.